G'day everyone, my name is Nick Renotte and I'm heading up AI Developer Advocacy at IBM, and I want to welcome you all to the kickoff of the IBM TechXchange 2025 pre-conference watsonx Hackathon. Okay, so first up, we've got to go through some logistics. The hackathon officially opened at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on August the 1st, and all submissions are due when the hackathon closes at 10 a.m. Eastern on August the 17th. Now look, I know all you exceptional engineers out there are keen to squeeze out every last bit of loss out of your models, but please leave yourself plenty of time before that deadline on the 17th to submit your projects. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a deep learning veteran or you're building your first agent. This hackathon is a great opportunity, no matter your skill level, to grow your skills and learn about agentic AI. It's also an amazing opportunity to network with other like-minded people from around the world. You can compete solo, but I'd highly recommend teaming up with others. Alone, you'll go fast, but together, you'll go far. Remember, you can have up to 5 people on your team. So what's the deal with calling it a pre-conference hackathon? The IBM TechXchange 2025 conference is where builders meet, all under the same roof, digging into the same stack from different angles. No fluff, no filler, just real people, real tools, and real problems solved together. The conference takes place in Orlando, Florida from October 6th to the 9th. At the conference, you can get direct answers to your toughest technical questions with live coding and hands-on workshops, access to 1,000 community leaders, and so many great opportunities to explore cutting-edge developer tools, contribute to open source projects, earn certifications, and network, all in the one event. Now, the real kicker. The top 2 teams from this hackathon, one per theme, will each win $5,000 and a full trip to the conference in October. But wait, there's more. The top 50 teams will be eligible to receive complimentary passes to the conference. Make sure you check out the QR code if you want to learn more. Also, I'll be making the 23-hour flight there, but I'm looking forward to fist bumping you when you take out the hackathon win. Now let's talk for a moment about the problem you'll be solving in this hackathon. We want you to tap into the power of agentic AI and build creative proof of concept solutions to pressing everyday problems. Your solution will need to use IBM watsonx.ai and IBM watsonx Orchestrate, or both. We'll talk more about those in a moment. You'll pick from one of 2 themes in the hackathon. The first, Build with Agentic AI challenge, asks you to use IBM watsonx to develop a working proof of concept that applies agentic AI to solve a real-world problem. The second theme, Sustainable Cities and Communities Challenge, is brought to you by the Call for Code team, which, if you don't know, is the world's largest tech for good challenge of its kind, now in its 8th year. If your team picks this challenge, you'll use agentic AI to solve an issue that falls under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 11. Sustainable cities and communities. So before I go on, let's double back and dive a little into what agentic AI is, some of the challenges around it, and I'm going to give you a quick crash course on IBM's agentic stack via watsonx.ai and watsonx Orchestrate. So today we're going to take a look at what is watsonx Orchestrate. Now, according to the slides from marketing, it's quite a fair few things, as you can see here. We've got agentic orchestration, building agents for domains, flow builder, AI gateways, and agent analytics. But I want to uncover what exactly is in the box and dive a little bit into the nitty gritty. So, namely, watsonx Orchestrate is all about one key thing. It's about agents. Now, we hear agents thrown around a lot. We see agentic workflows, agents here, left, right, and center. But what exactly is an agent? Well, let's open up the box. Agents principally comprise 2 key things. We have LLMs and we have tools. These combined together, along with some creative prompting, give us an agentic workflow. Now, what exactly does that creative prompting look like? Well, it kind of looks a little bit like this. We start out with a prompt, we then get our LLM to think and plan, take action by using tools. We then observe the outcomes, and if we haven't achieved our outcome, we go back through that process, and finally, we output the result, ideally aiming to address the user's prompt. So if we see this in practice though, it actually goes quite quickly. We'll go through each one of these processes and use the LLMs and tools as needed. Typically in the action step, you're using tools. When we're thinking and planning, as well as when we're observing and generating the final output, we're using the LLM. But they all combine together to form an agentic flow. So, our agents. Now, we typically don't necessarily just have one. We'd have quite a fair few, and organizations would have quite a fair few as well. So there's obviously some challenges when it comes to deploying this at scale. But not only that, if we've deployed this many agents, how do we get them to work with each other and talk to one another? Well, this is where a tool might come in handy. So let's say we've got this agent, but we don't necessarily just have the one. We might actually have these three. This is where Watson Orchestrate can sit over the top and actually use its own agentic flow to orchestrate actions between each one of these agents. Now, in reality, we won't just have agent, agent, agent. We'd have domain-specific agents. So we might have a HR agent, we might have a sales agent, we might even have an IT ops agent. watsonx Orchestrate allows you to deploy domain-specific agents to achieve specific outcomes. We're all for AI for business after all. But it doesn't end there. Let's say you've gone and created a specific agent that's really great at handling BCGs or handling standard processes or working with Microsoft Excel. You might choose to deploy pre-canned agents inside of watsonx Orchestrate and use them across the board. So we've got the ability to store pre-canned agents and actually leverage those inside of domain-specific agents as well. Now, we've also got a number of tools. You've got the ability to use tools inside of the predefined tool catalog, as well as deploying your own custom tools. But we haven't addressed the light blue box in question, and that is our LLM. Well, this is where watsonx.ai comes in and provides us with our LLM capabilities to power watsonx Orchestrate and take us into the future. Thanks, Nick. So we've covered what Orchestrate looks like, but what could you build? Well, I'm going to give you a crash course in Orchestrate and watsonx in 13 minutes. It'll cover agent development, explain why tools are so important, and show you how to demo its core capabilities. Alrighty, we are going to be building our very own stock research assistant inside of watsonx Orchestrate. And as per usual, we're going to set a bit of a timer. Let's go 7-minute timer. All right, let's go. Okay, so to start watsonx Orchestrate, I'm going to go UV run orchestrate chat. And this should kick off the UI. I need to go chat start. So there's my head, move it out of the way. So this should kick off the UI, fingers crossed, local tenant. We don't have any agents. Okay, so what we need to do is actually create an agent and put it inside of Orchestrate to get that up and running, because then we're gonna have a UI. So how do we go about creating a agent? So I'm gonna open up the side panel and we are going to create a new agent. So to do that, I'm just going to create a new file called agent.yaml. And then inside of here, we are going to start defining our agent. Now, again, it's going to be all about stock research. So the first thing that we need to do is define a spec version. So we are going to type in spec version, and this is going to be V1. And then we need a space there for proper formatting. Calm down, Nick. Okay. And then we need to define a kind, so what type of assistant or what type of agent it's going to be, and this is going to be native. You've also got the ability to bring in assistants, which sort of encapsulate stuff, and you're also able to bring in external agents as well. So we're going to go spec version kind, and then we need a name, we need a description, we also need an LLM. What else do we need? We need a style, and that's going to be React to begin with. Actually, not to begin with. All right, let's fill out the rest. So this is going to be Nick's stock agent. You can name it whatever you want. The description, this is really, really important because watsonx Orchestrate supports multi-agent systems. So if you ever wanted another agent to use this one, you need to have a good description. So this description is going to be something along the lines of a stock research agent that can find stock prices, stock info, and income details. Beautiful. Okay, and then we need to define our LLM. So I'm going to use watsonx.ai for this. So I've got Llama 4 over here. I'm just going to copy the code, which is going to be this name over there. So it's Meta Llama 4 Maverick 17B 1828E. You know the rest, and it's a bunch of stuff. Okay, so watsonx, we're going to paste. Oh no, did I not copy it? All right, let's copy it. So if I copy that, boom. Okay, now I can paste it in. So again, I can use a bunch of different LLMs. I'm going to be using watsonx.ai here. So I've got Meta Llama 4 Maverick 17B 128E instruct FP8. Okay, so that is going to be our LLM now input. Now let's try creating, starting up our watsonx Orchestrate instance. First up, I need to import this agent. So to do that, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. All right, so I'm going to go UV run orchestrate. Let's close the sidebar. Let's make that a bit bigger. Orchestrate agents import, and then we need to pass through the file path to this agent, right? So it's going to be -f what did we call it again? Agent.yaml. Okay, agent.yaml. Orchestrate, that looks all right. Let's see how we go. Beautiful. So you can see agent, Nick stock agent imported successfully. We can double check it. So UV run, orchestrate, agents list. So we should be able to see our agent there and take a look. So that is our agent. So again, this is going to be my native agent. If we wanted external or assistant agents, they'd pop up there. Okay, but now we should be able to start up orchestrate. So I'm just going to clear. We can then go UV run orchestrate chat start. So there we go. All right, local tenant found. It should kick off. Let's cross our fingers. Beautiful. Looks like Docker's starting up. Chat UI started. Let's pause the timer while waiting this to start. Okay. All right, we've got 3 minutes left to create a bunch of tools and actually get this running. Okay, so take a look. Our environment is now run. It looks like I had a bit of an error, so just rerunning that command. So UV run orchestrate chat start. We are now up and running, and you can see that we've got our agent over here. Now, if I went down to manage agents, I can then go and play around with the agent that I just created. So right now you can see that we don't actually have any tools associated, and we haven't associated any additional agents. So ideally what we want to be able to do is go and hit add tool and then add in different tools from my local instance. You've also got the ability to add default tools from the catalog. But what I want to do now is at least begin creating some tools. We've got 3 minutes to get this done. Okay, so I'm going to start the timer again and let's create a tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a tool using Yahoo Finance. So I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to save this as, let's call it stockprice.py. And then we're going to go import Yahoo, actually it's Y Finance as YF. And then we need to bring in a dependency for Watson Orchestrate. So we'll go from IBM _ Watson X _ orchestrate .agent _ builder .tools import tool and tool permission. So the tool permission is going to allow us to give admin and different role rights to a specific agent and the tool, or to the specific tool. So let's actually define the tool. So the tool needs a name, and our first name is just going to be stock price. Actually, let's call it like get stock prices, get stock price. Okay, and then the description is going to be a tool that returns stock prices, actually the last stock price given a stock ticker. Beautiful. And then we need to pass through the permission, and we're going to set that to tool permission .admin. Right, okay, so we've now set up our tool. We actually need to do something now, so we're going to define a new Python function. So we're going to say def stock price, and then we're going to pass through stock ticker. How are we doing on time? 1 minute 30. Okay. It's going to take in a stock ticker, and then what we need to do is we need to go yf.ticker. That's going to take in a stock ticker, and this is going to bring back some data, and then we want data.history, and then we want to specify that we want what period of data that we want back. So let's just grab 1 month, and then this should be our prices, and then we're going to return back to our LLM the prices. We're going to grab the close because it's going to return back a pandas data frame, and then we are going to grab the last value because that should be the last stock price. So I can go .ilock and then grab -1. Okay, and then let's actually import this in. So I'm just going to clear this. To import a new tool, I can go UV run orchestrate tools. Oh no, tools import tools. Yeah, tools. Tools import -k, which is going to be the type of tool. So I'm going to set that to Python. -f, which should be the file path, which is going to be stockprice.py. Stockprice.py. And then we need the dependencies. And I've already got that inside of stockprice.txt. So I'm just going to add in -r, which is going to be stocks.txt. All right, let's pause. All right, 27 seconds. So we've got our tool being imported. Let's see how we go. Cross our fingers. We should be able to refresh our agent and see it in there as well. So I'm just going to refresh quickly. Jump into manage agents. We imported. Looks like it's still importing. Scroll on down to add tool. We should then be able to go add from local instance. So take a look. So we've now got our stock price. So get stock price, tool that returns the last stock price for a stock given a stock ticker. So if we go and select that now and then right down here, my body's blocking it and so is the chair. That button says add to agent. So I can add to agent. Take a look. Our stock price is now added. Now if we go and test this out, let's jump back. We're going to use our Nick stock agent up here. I can say, what is IBM's stock price? So we're reasoning. It looks like we've picked up the right tool. We've identified the stock ticker as IBM. Hopefully we get some stock prices back. You can see 291. Let's scroll back. 291.97. So again, this is going to be from whatever's available inside of Yahoo Finance. But we've now gone and built up an agent and added a tool. I know the time is almost out, but I'm going to show you how to add two more tools. We're going to add one for our income statement and one for our just getting random stock info as well. Okay, so we've got 11 seconds left. Obviously, I'm not going to build a tool in that time, but I mean, I can try. So let's hit it. All right, so I'm going to copy our tool and I'm going to create a new one, paste that in there. This next tool is just going to be get stock info. And again, we need to change the description because that's really important in multi-agent systems. So it's going to be a tool that returns stock information given a stock ticker. Beautiful. We're going to leave all of that the same and our time is out. Okay, but that's all right. Let's go and wrap this up. So we've now got a tool. Let's just toggle word wrap so we can see that. So a tool that returns stock information given a stock ticker. I'm going to pass you our stock ticker and then we don't need to do all of this price manipulation here. So we're literally just going to go get rid of this. We're then going to return data.info. Beautiful. So that should be all good. We can then import this tool. So similar command. The only difference is that because we've created a new file and we haven't actually saved it. Let's save it as stock info. So in terms of our import command, we just need to change the file that we're going to be passing through. So it's uv run. Let me bring this up to the top. Uv run orchestrate tools import -k python -f stockinfo.py -r stocks.txt. If we run that, that should bring in as stock info tool. Wait, did we rename it? Yes, we did. Okay, double checking. Okay, so now if we jump back into Orchestrate, I can then go back to manage agents and then I can add in a new tool while that's importing. So if I go take a look, get stock info is now appearing there. I can add that in. And this brings back a bunch of metadata around a particular stock, like executive leadership, date founded, locations, headquarters, all that kind of stuff. So ideally, we should be able to go and type in something like, who is the CEO of IBM? And hopefully this picks up our stock info tool and take a look. It's picked up our stock info tool. Determine the stock ticker. It should get a bunch of output. It has. And take a look. We've gone and returned Arvind. Okay, so the last tool that I want to add is the income statement tool. So let's just add that in as well. So again, I'm going to copy this tool over, add in, create a new Python file. This one's going to be income statement.py. And then in our description, we're just going to say a tool that returns income statement details given a stock ticker. Okay. And we'll leave tool permissions the same. This is going to, we really should rename the functions, but that's okay. Okay, so over here, we're going to return quarterly income STMT. So that should return our quarterly income statement. Okay, then we can go on ahead and import this. So I'm going to run the exact same command. We're just going to change the file that we're pointing at, and it's called, what's it called again? It's called income statement.py. Statement.py. Let's run that. So that should import our tool. Oh no, we haven't renamed the tool. This should be get income statement. I think we've gone and overridden our existing tool. Let's just stop that. Let's go and run the income statement call now. And if we go and try to manage our agent, let's add in our third tool. We might have overridden the get stock info tool by not renaming it, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to add in the get income statement tool, add that in, and then I'm going to go back to agent chat. And now let's try like an income related question. So what is IBM's EBITDA? So earnings before interest, depreciation, interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Amortization. All right, cool. So we've got our tool there. So get income statement. So we've got our stock ticker. Take a look. We've got our value back. Now, if I actually go to the trace, I can open up the output and just search for EBITDA. And we've got a value. So we've got normalized there. We've got our regular EBITDA, which you can see is matching up right over here. which is the exact same response that we've got from our agent. And that, in a nutshell, is how to build up an agent pretty quickly inside of watsonx Orchestrate. Thanks, Nick. We're done. But before you go, a quick reminder, remember you can work individually or join a team of up to 5. You and your team should work through the hackathon guide to get set up and get familiar with the technology, then apply what you learned to build your own unique proof of concept solution. 4, create your deliverables to explain your project. And finally, submit your deliverables by the August 17th deadline. Judges will review submissions and determine prize winners, and winners will be announced through email on September 8th. If you have any questions at any time and need help, go to the Hackathon Slack channel. There you can tag the Ask Challenge bot to get a quick answer. And if it cannot answer your question, there are expert mentors to assist you as well. With that, I wish you the best of luck. Go get them.